Hello everyone, and welcome to the Great Awakening story, Season 2. My name is Genevieve Akal. I'm a Gnostic prophet, a priestess, and a lover of our Holy Mother, the Aeon Sophia, who lets me know where she's going with the collective consciousness, and I use story form to do that, typical of the ancient Gnostic way, creating mythologies and stories to communicate something ineffable. So if you've been following these videos, we came into our first act climax, meaning a choice point in our lives. We then entered the second act, but we entered the safe zone of the second act, which is called training and making new allies. And it's almost like in the second act, you'll notice it in films. It's been really hard for the protagonist, the heroine or hero, to take on the journey, and they do. And as they do, it's this light moment where in a quest film they're learning how to fight, or in a drama or any other genre, they're meeting new archetypes that are aligning with their new choice for themselves. So in like a gaming world, for example, Horizon Zero Dawn, which I love, when you get a new weapon or you enter a new territory, there's hunting grounds. And you go there to learn the new skills or to get a feel of kind of this new world you're in. You've stepped in it, but you're not fully in it. And as of this full moon in Aquarius that we had last night, we are now entering into the new world. We're leaving the training ground with our allies, kind of supporting us in that. So if you remember when I first started telling the story of this cycle, this year, the year being from April to April, which is how years are supposed to operate, not the Gregorian calendar, I definitely felt that the theme of the year was the Magician card, right? In the Tarot. The manifester, the builder, that we were all going to build, and we're coming into a place of feeling secure and safe and confident and trusting of the divine to build the vision that we have for our lives. Of course, we had to grapple with something internal around that, and we've taken on the journey as of where we're at right now in the sort of terrestrial astrology, the human experience of this great awakening that we're all going through. And I certainly felt over the last month or two, I loved the training and making new allies because the perfect people, new people have come into my life and we are totally vibing together. So I haven't spoken about a good friend of mine, Shayana. We met and she's carried a vision for how she would like to approach and build the new earth, and how she would like to support that, and what came to her and her sort of lived, channeled experience. And it's so aligned with my own. So we definitely felt like soul sisters. She also comes from the 12 tribes. So there's just been a lovely, beautiful connection. She's Capricorn as well, Aries rising. So we work very well together. And for the last couple months, we've been putting things together, working, building this new platform, this new thing that we want to offer the world. Because I definitely felt that the Great Mother was saying to me, build your ark in your life, build your ark. And there's been a lot of flood mythologies in the world when we go through cycles of ascension like this. And they're symbolic. So they're not literalist stories, they're mythological, symbolic stories that point to the way and the process of awakening. And it's quite clear that a flood is coming and that the old paradigm is collapsing. The old paradigm of control, enforcement, living life according to what a greater system of control, how they tell us to live it. And that's kind of been dismantling for a while now, and it's becoming a little bit absurd and untenable. And I know for myself and so many people in my life, we've all been inspired or been given a vision of what it is we want to build. If the old thing is crumbling, no one's going to give us the new thing. We have to embody the magician, right, in our lives. We have to manifest it ourselves and build it ourselves. So it's been an interesting couple months with coming into connection with new people, visions aligning, and we've had Uranus direct for this year, a lot of that in Taurus, right? Uranus is this great innovator, disruptor, rebel, shakes up the Primordial Father, like comes in and just shifts the earth. And in Taurus, the earth, the material, how we experience it, how our systems work. So Uranus has been in Taurus, shaking the foundations of our lives. And Uranus recently, a few days ago, went retrograde, and will be retrograde until 2022, January 2022, in Taurus. So what I felt with that is that we've had so much vision coming in, a lot of Jupiter, right? The vision, the big vision for our lives, what we want to build, what we want to do, whether that's a whole new course of career, a whole new way of living, a whole new way of educating our children, a whole new way of relating to people, being in relationships, whatever it is for you. You know, and for me, it's definitely, I have this desire to build a circular economy community. I won't go into detail there, but it's quite a big vision, right? Me and my friend, we have this really great big vision that we want to land, and we're finding that just like so many great people are coming in as it's needed to support the growth of the vision. So what we're doing now, and what I feel now, is that we're stepping out of the training ground. And this is what I love about this one of the cards I love in the Osho deck. It's called Moment to Moment. Right, you see this Zazen monk stepping on each stone as it rises. So there's this interesting relationship where we're going into between Saturn and Jupiter. Jupiter's given us this high, expansive vision and continues to expand on that vision. And Saturn is the one, they're working together quite beautifully. Saturn is the one that goes, okay, cool. We have the eagle eye of Jupiter, and we have the tenacity and ambition of the mountain goat walking up the mountain. So it's this negotiation between the higher vision, which can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. The full vision is quite big, and it's, you know, when we want to step into something new in our lives, it's like, whoa, that's my end vision. And it almost sometimes feels a little difficult to start building it, to start being the King of Wands, right? To start being the magician and the King of Wands. And we're going to be building our new visions, our arcs, for the rest of this year, for sure, and continue beyond that, but definitely establishing this new thing that we're doing in our lives. And what I've discovered is that it continues to shift. So like this monk that steps on each stone as it comes, the build now is being done in a whole new way. So if we're going to build a new paradigm in our lives, a new way, new structures, new businesses, new economic systems that are Aquarian, higher connection, community, all humans, right? All of us together. No longer that disparate profiteering line where there's destruction and exploitation of the earth and people. How do we build this new holistic vision for the earth? And the only way to do that is to do that in accordance with the holistic earth or mother or heart within ourselves. So I found myself at certain points getting a little overwhelmed with the vision, but then noticing, like, as each week goes by, it builds, it shifts in my mind, new ideas land, things consolidate, and I'm in a state of the Empress. So to build this vision, we have to be comfortable with the yin in ourselves, the feminine in ourselves. She leads because she is the creator. I've did a video on this last year. Mars and Venus, right? Mars wants to take action, get it done quickly, land the vision. But it's too big, and we if we try to control it in that old sort of distorted masculine way where we're so afraid that we just throttle the vision because we're like, it must work, it must work. It doesn't grow. I wrote this. But abundance is simplicity. It simply is. One does not strap a tree and force or control its output. It would shut down, stop bearing fruit. A pomegranate tree bears pomegranate. A mango mangoes. Why do sages speak so simply? Enlightenment is common sense. There is no secret. It's hidden in plain sight. Too simple for our hijacked minds to accept in its simplicity. Simple. Simple. I wrote that for myself, and perhaps it's helpful for others, in that in order to commit to this build and for it to be fun and playful and for it to fully bear fruit, we need to be comfortable with the feminine, the heart space, the Sophia, the wisdom that comes from within, that soft, gentle voice that brings inspiration, shifts the course. Stone by stone, it comes up as we move, right? We don't know, we can't see all the stepping stones, but we must trust and step onto each one as it's revealed by life, by the experience of it. It's lived. So we step out, we're now leaving the training grounds, right? And we're actually going on the quest. We're entering the new world. And we're going to encounter things that are unexpected, like, oh wait, maybe it's going to go this way. Yeah, okay, I didn't think that. I thought it was going there, but it's actually kind of turning here. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. So allowing the feminine, holding space, the masculine holds space for the Empress, the feminine, to reveal the path, piece by piece. It's a path of intuition. And that's the sort of Jupiter expansive side. The vision is revealed softly in the way of the feminine, in the playfulness, the trust, right? The trust of her. And then when we hold space, we then bring Saturn to that for our build this year, right? Saturn is discipline, takes responsibility, lands it, freaking builds the websites, has the conversations, creates the content, does whatever it's doing, right? I'm just talking to my story right now, but maybe you're going off grid, right? I have friends who are living in Arcadia in Greece, and I love them, they're beautiful. And they're like slowly building their new sustainable life, right? It takes time. And we then bring Saturn or direction to it. I thought of the Chariot, definitely. And we follow the intuitive path, the thing that's opening. We allow it to shift and grow like a tree would, right? Same with this, the Eight of Pentacles. I felt this as well. We build. This is the card of I'm building. I'm here, I'm focused on my pentacles, I'm focused on my vision, and as it's revealed to me, I land it. And it's been so, in my last video, I was discussing in my training and making new ally situation, I spoke a lot about wanting intimate connection, but they're not sort of feeling the right relationship come in. And I love how this energy has been diverted into creativity, because sexual energy or desire is creative in its nature. So I came to realize that the community that's come around me and these connections I have and this big vision that we're all sort of sharing and wanting to build, I'm like, that is so fulfilling. It is my Queen of Cups, you know. It fulfills me. It's wonderful to be able to create with others and to become excited by it and to get downloads and figure out how we're going to do this. It's fun, you know, it's supposed to be fun. Her path is always fun. But there is Saturn, of course, so it takes work. But it's this lovely middle way negotiation between Jupiter and Saturn, or the feminine and the masculine, right? Holding space for ourselves and for the vision to develop and for us to pivot as we feel, as we hear, oh, there it's going, there it's going, there it's going. Because if we're going to build a new Earth paradigm, we have to do it in the way that she operates. And this is how she operates. And what I was clearly given as well was that we're now entering Virgo, right? Virgo season. Onam was also recently celebrated here in India, especially in Kerala. And it's this beautiful festival of harvest. And Virgo is the harvest. And the scripture that came to me was that the fields are ripe for the harvest. And we are all building new arcs in our lives because the world is shifting. And there is an ascension going on, meaning a new paradigm being built. And when Uranus comes direct again in January 2020, there's going to be a huge new wave of awakened ones, our brothers and sisters. And we will then be prepared. We will have our arcs ready, right, to catch and to help and to assist in the harvest. And I remember in my awakening, my Kundalini awakening into her greatness and her love and the quest and true story of this earth. It was amazing because, well, of course, I lost a lot of people in my life that couldn't quite understand what the hell I was now, which is fine. That was quite difficult. But new friends came in, new archetypes. And now I find myself in a community of people that totally get me. But I remember at the time, it was difficult because when you wake up and you are given the grace of an awakening, that is a moment of grace for us. And she is about to pour out her grace on her beloveds, right? We can't manufacture an awakening. It is given to us by grace. And this outpouring is coming from her. And so many of her babies are going to wake up. And I remember when I had my awakening, I was still in that old paradigm, and it was quite lonely and quite confusing. And when I started to find people and resources online, it became really soothing to know that I wasn't some crazy freak, right? Because you have no context when you just wake up. So we are now building our arcs, whatever that looks like for you, and it's always what you love. It's always your Queen of Cups. The thing that you're like, I can't possibly do this in my life because I love it. And it brings me joy and passion. It's like we've been conditioned to think we have to work boring jobs and stay in frustrating relationships and frustrating situations because we don't think we're allowed to be audacious enough to do the very thing we love. But that is her design, and we are. That is the truth. And she will always provide. When you operate from that place, your resonance, your heart is filled. You are filled because it's fun. And you're connecting and you're passionate about what you're doing. So it's fun. And then the frequency that you emit from that brings in your matching frequency, be that with people, provision, abundance. That's the design of this place. So any fears around finance, you will be taken care of entirely. All your true needs. And we've learned that we don't need a lot. We just want to feel good. So we are going to build our arcs stone by stone, in a state of intuition, and bringing the masculine to guide and land it, so that these arcs will be ready for when Uranus comes direct and shakes up Taurus again. And a whole new wave of people will be awakened, and we will be there waiting to welcome them in, to share our knowledge with them in whatever way that means for you, right? To share this thing you've built. You built with her out of a place of intuition, and it's abundant and sustainable and communal. This is about circular economy. The ancient Gnostics, they always spoke of how land ownership and ownership is the antithesis of how her nature works. She doesn't accumulate excess. She is completely circular, and it's community, it's growth together, which is very much this new thing that I'm building with a friend. I'm very excited about it. I've read a lot back in the day around distributionism. G.K. Chesterton and some other theologians have many people. I live in a place called Oroville, which is all about circular economy. What is communal economy? How do we redefine economy? So I've been surrounded by just so much knowledge and beautiful people around this new thing, right? This new vision. And we have to do it ourselves. So, yeah, that's pretty much my message for today. So Jupiter's eagle eye, we know the big vision, but we are grounded in the footing and the resolve of Saturn's goat and its purpose. Yeah. So enjoy stepping out of training and making new allies. You've found new things, new mentors, new things, new support that's come your way. We've had a lot of vision come in, but it's landed, it's kind of consolidating itself. And we're now going to step out and start creating that and being the magician, the builder of the rest of the second act. And obstacles will come in, of course, that's the nature of the second act. But the beauty of it, in screenplay writing, we call them progressive complications. I would like to define a new term for it, because it's more like a progressive call to listen, right? You think you're going one way, something arises or a conflict, so it's like, oh, it's not really opening. Yeah, that's a complication, but it's also her going, wait, just chill. Be in the state of the feminine, receive, let it go. Things open when they're supposed to open, and you'll be cooking food or in the pharmacy or doing some weird thing with your kid, and the next thing you know, you'll be like, oh, that's the way it will go. And this is how creativity works. I had a great discussion with my friend Ribu, who's doing our branding and logo design. He's such a beautiful creative, and we were talking about how we experience creativity. And you don't, like a creative doesn't work 9 to 5, where you sit there and you're like, I'm going to Saturn this creativity. I'm going to be creative. It doesn't work like that. Creativity is a state of the feminine. It's the state of living in the Empress, where the idea floods in. It comes like the muses. It comes. It arrives. It's a grace moment. You've been waiting for it, so you've opened yourself for it. And then the infilling comes, and you might start something. It's not really landing, but it's there. But you carry on about your day in love and connection and eating good food and doing what you do. And then the next thing you know, it comes together, it consolidates, and the masculine side is now ready to put it out in a state of flow, right? If it's laborious, it's not ready. But if it pours like a state of flow, that is the masculine holding the feminine in the right way, meaning waiting for the feminine to be ready with the energy to pour out. We don't force it anymore. That's very the old paradigm where we're like, it must be this output. It doesn't work like that. I know a lot of people have read that book, The 4-Hour Work Week, whatever. I haven't really read it, but I just, from the title, I'm like, yeah, that's this life. It's like when you live in that state, the work you actually end up doing is not, you don't end up like tiring yourself out, because when it comes, it pours, right? And then you're in a state of rest and reception, and then you pour when it feels, when the moment is there to do it. So yeah, we're very supported at this time. If you're nervous about your new vision, whatever that is for you, just know that we are elevating in consciousness right now. And I know I usually just say that, and I've had a couple people comment in my videos going, what are you talking about? So I need to do a video where I go through the Mayan calendar, the Aztec calendar, the Yogic system, and all the ancient systems. We are coming into a new age. It's mathematical. It's not just like some pseudo-spiritual thing. So when her consciousness elevates, she's pouring out grace. She's being abundant. She's being outlandish. So before, I remember this, I would labor on a screenplay for years, then get a producer, then finance would come through, then it would fall through, and it felt like my self-work was so hard, and also getting my creative work out. It was like, oh my gosh, there was such a wall. But that Capricorn wall has dissolved now. And we might still hold like a trauma or like a nah in our head. Like whenever I go for what I want in life, it's laborious, it doesn't open. I experience this. But she's ready to open it now. And that was laying some foundations, and maybe you didn't go the full way and it didn't fully open for you, but it will open now because she's doing that now. Unequivocally, it will open if you are gentle, soft, trusting. This sweet Zazen monk, I love him, stepping on each stone as it's revealed. Be brave and outlandish, because that is her nature. And I'm so excited to see, I've had friends talking about they're doing new writing, this person's doing this person's going off grid, this one's doing this. I'm just like, this is so exciting. This is so exciting. There's like, yeah, lockdown's been crazy, but all things work to the good. All things work to the good, and it's made us redefine our concept of our own lives and actually what community and life can look like for us. And now we're ready and we're equipped and we've purged a lot. So a lot of our work since 2017, this full moon in Aquarius has closed a cycle. And a lot of you might resonate with this, that there was a lot of personal work, a lot of purging, coming to terms with ourselves, releasing, finding healing and balance, right? And then we had the Guru new moon here in India in, when was that? Not too long ago. And I noticed that everyone now is stepping into their Guru within. I feel empowered now. I'm like, I have, not that I'm perfect, but I've gone through the ringer of myself. And I've come out in the middle way, in a state of balance and acceptance of myself, loving the shadow, letting her be, finding peace, and I feel stable and good to share now. I learned so much. I was given a methodology in my own awakening process and my own healing process, and so many of us are now ready to share. We feel like, okay, whew, it's serenity now, it's good. I know what's up, I'm going to keep doing my maintenance, but this big thing has come off and we're ready to, we feel stable and secure and empowered and sovereign now to share what we have to give with everyone else, right? And I'm now ready to create the methodology, to teach others. This is the path of the mother. This is how it works in the body. And I'm very excited. You know, it's like a lot of us were just in our experience, and you can even see just from my videos, right? I started this in April last year. I felt compelled, and it's been a state of experimentation, letting my voice flow, letting it just be. And I come from a filmmaking background, so I'm trained in packaging things, but I didn't want to package. I'm like, I want to just do whatever comes, because I need to learn that. That's the higher truth for me. Even in filmmaking, I stopped doing very narrative-driven films, and I started to do more avant-garde occult cinema and just obey the symbols that were coming to me, because I wanted to immerse myself in the way of the feminine, in the way of the Empress, in the way she moves. And we've all been learning and just discovering this new thing. And it's almost like now I'm ready to go to market. Now I'm ready to package myself. I don't want to package first, brand first, because I don't want to throttle her. But we're all aware of, and we've come into terms with this learning, this gift that we have to give. We go, oh, it's landed, so we're now ready to put it together and offer it. So new business, new economy, new community. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting. It's raining. Oh my God, it's raining. So yeah, it's nice to feel my cup overflowing. I love creativity. I love it, you know, making things, building things, landing visions, and it's sustaining and it's wonderful. And I love that I felt very alone in my path before. Not alone, I had friends and stuff, but everyone, we were also the hermits, you know. We were also with ourselves and just trying to process. And now that that's open and we've released, we are connecting with each other and help. Like, I couldn't build this by myself, just as my friend couldn't. We all had visions, and now visions that align are coming together, and you now have the support of others who want to do it with you and can carry you. It's lovely to be accountable and say, okay, cool, by Friday I'm going to type this, I'm going to get this video, I'm going to do this, and have each other, you know, like supporting. Everything's always easier in community. So yeah, I'm very grateful for this new expression of her and how we're opening into a space of connection, this Aquarian connection, and building a new paradigm. So build your ark. And have fun. Okay. Sending everyone so much love, and yeah.